What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode review for Bleach: A Thousand Year Blood War. This is episode 5, and with me, as always, I have Bluespid.
Mhm. Yeah, things just continue to get so much more grim for all the Soul Reapers in the Soul Society. I mean, like I mentioned this last week of how backed into a corner Byakuya was after he got his Bankai stolen. Now in this episode, you really get to see he's just racked with fear at this point.
Yeah, it's the fight between Byakuya and Asnat was pretty interesting because we get to see the basically what I guess what Asnat uses against his opponents, which is like he basically tries to get inside their head and use their fears against them in a way. Like it's sort of just it's more psychological, if anything, I guess. And this is pretty much what he tries to do with Byakuya. Is that he tries to use his greatest fears and against him. For instance, I guess it's fear of losing Rukia, or fear of being being defeated or something. But it's also interesting because Asnat explains like that there's that there are different kinds of fear or something. Basically saying that Byakuya has overcome the fear of I guess losing at a battle because of how powerful he is, but there are other things that he would fear, I guess, is the gist of it. But yeah, some of these scenes, especially the scene with Rukia's decomposing face, I did not expect that. That was pretty shocking, honestly. And also I also like the way that they have that image of Byakuya just completely covered in flies. That was I like the way that was done. That was pretty creepy.
Yeah.
So it really kind of, I guess, highlights Asnat's ability to just completely I guess paralyze somebody with fear.
Yeah, it just looks like, the fear is just slowly creeping up on Byakuya, the longer this moment, goes on. And Byakuya, regardless of the fact, he tries to fight up against this guy, and, but unfortunately he has his Bankai used against him, and he's just constantly barraged by his own attack over and over until he gets knocked back into a wall.
Yeah. And Reggie does try to help out, and he almost uses his own Bankai until he's interrupted by I've heard that people are, because I know he hasn't been actually named yet, but I guess his name in the manga it's Nasty Mask or something like that. I don't remember exactly, but he shows up after being falling through a hole, and he comes back and basically he just sends Renji flying almost across the Soul Society. I mean, I'm pretty sure Renji's okay, but that was kind of crazy. He just went it looked like he went just all the way across the Serete, and then of course we see the result of Byakuya's Bankai being used against him because it sends him flying into a wall, and it's just. It really looks like Byakuya is dead. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's not, but he's pretty messed up. But of course, at the same time, we see that basically Ichigo is able to sense the spiritual pressure of Byakuya and Renji and some of the other Soul Reapers, because he realizes they're in trouble. But it's also at the beginning of the episode too, they announced that Ichigo is going to come to save them, basically. But as we know, Ichigo is trapped inside the jail that Kyoge had created within the Garganta. So he's basically he gets a call from their research and development team from the Soul Society, or I forget what the guy's name is, but the guy from the research and development calls Ichigo again, and he's basically hearing all the cries of agony of all the different Soul Reapers as they're being defeated by the Stern Ritter, and Ichigo, of course, this just makes him feel so angry and desperate because he can't really do anything. So he's just trying to at this point like use the Getsuga trying to break out of the jail he's been trapped in. But of course, it's to no avail really.
Yeah, and and then of course we shift back to Kilgay in Waco Mundo, and he's about to go after Urahara, Chad, and Orihime, but then just as he's about to land a killing blow on them, he just gets cut in half just out of nowhere from somebody. I mean, I can kind of guess who it might be, but I can't say for certain if it really is that this certain character that I've been waiting to see for a long time.
And of course we see that the sword is placed up against Urahara. I mean, I would think it's possible that it's I mean, I haven't read the manga for this, so I really don't know. But I mean, I would assume it's possible that it could potentially be Grimmjow, but as we know, Grimmjow doesn't really. I could be wrong, but I don't remember him using a weapon like that. I know he tends to use his claws, at least in his like, what do they call it for the Arankars, like the release form or something like but it could be that maybe he's using a different weapon. I'm not exactly sure. But I guess it's possible it could be him. Because I can't really think of who else it could be. Because I'm trying to think of who would use a weapon like that.
I mean,
the only other possibility is Ishin Kurosaki, but I don't think so. I mean, I don't see any reason why he would show up. So I don't know. I really don't know who else, because all the other, of course, as we know, everybody else is fighting them, the Stern Raiders and the Soul Society. So, and we know, of course, it's not Yoruichi because that's not a weapon she would use. Yeah, I don't know. I really like I'm not really sure who it could be.
I mean, I can speculate that Grimmjow might have been training for, for all that time that he's been in Waco Mundo since the events of the Arankar event. But yeah, he's like the only logical character that I would know who'd be that powerful to kill Kilgay in that manner. Assuming
I could see that.
Yeah, but I mean, we like I said, we shift back to the Soul Society. We also see Rukia, who also senses or who I mean, she at least has an idea of what's going on, and she assumes.
Well, she also sees the explosion from where from where Byakuya is fighting.
Yeah, and just when she's about to head over there, she gets blindsided by another Quincy. Like I think it was a pink-haired Quincy. I don't know who this is.
Yeah.
And then she just gets taken out off screen, which is kind of weird, to be honest. It's like
apparently this is something they kind of added in the anime that we actually don't see who did this in the manga apparently, but they actually like show who it is in the anime, and I guess people who've read the manga know this character, but yeah, of course the anime watchers don't know who it is.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we. But the biggest highlight by the end of this episode is, of course, Yamamoto coming in to pretty much save the day.
I also want to mention too that the research and development team, like I guess, gets attacked by Jidanbo, and Jidanbo, like I'm guessing he's under someone's control. We kind of like see. We don't see who it is, but we see like I guess whatever the weapon they're using or something. But yeah, I'm guessing Jidanbo is under some kind of control because he's just completely destroying the research and development building.
Yeah, and but yeah, and when things, like I said, when things get so much dire for all the Soul Reapers, Yamamoto comes in and his appearance just pretty much boosts like everyone's morale throughout the Soul Society as soon as he shows up.
Yeah, well, and he also shows up, I think, because the person who killed Sasakibe like reveals himself, which is this guy he calls himself Overkill, but I don't know what his actual name was. But he's apparently the guy that killed Sasakibe, and he was about to he was fighting I forget this guy's name. It was started with an H, but he was fighting the guy with the 69 tattoo on his his face.
Yeah.
But he was fighting him, and he was kind of in a corner. He was about to use, like, I guess, the same attack that he used to kill Sasakibe on him, and that's when Yamamoto intervenes, and basically, you know, that it gets revealed that this guy had stolen Sasaki. Of course, he stole Sasakibe's Bankai, and he starts to use it against Yamamoto. And this is where we finally get like a flashback sequence that kind of shows us a little bit more about Sasakibe, like Sasakibe and Yamamoto's relationship. So I kind of like that they did that, because like his death like wasn't really for people who are. I mean, I don't know about manga readers. Maybe they go more into it in the manga, but like for anime only watchers, especially, like when Sasakibe died, like people didn't really. I don't really think it was really as impactful as they were trying to make it out to be in the anime. But I kind of like that they did have this flashback that they actually went into the backstory of Sasakibe and Yamamoto. But basically, this is kind of like explaining, like kind of showing off Sasakibe's Bankai, and like how he had obtained his Bankai and how he wanted to be like the right-hand man, basically, of Yamamoto. But it was kind of interesting as well to see like a young version of Yamamoto, and it also explains like how he got the scar on his forehead. That basically like Sasakibe had shown his Bankai to him, and like ended up like cutting him on his forehead, and it basically like explains also how he got the name Gen Ryusai, because he used to be called
Ejisai.
He just so basically he ended up changing his name to like Gen Ryusai Yamamoto.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely believe that this flashback helped redeem Sasakibe a little bit after he. I mean, we never really get to see much of the guy throughout the entirety of the series, and this is pretty much the first time we've ever seen his and Yamamoto's backstory of it, and of course how much Yamamoto really cared about Sasakibe as, you know, one of his most trusted lieutenants.
Yeah. So of course, like the Bankai doesn't really do much of it. Well, I mean, as you pointed out, like it seemed like his, like, I don't know, like it might have like taken out his left arm or something, but it doesn't really seem like, I don't know, we don't really get to see that. It just seems like it's not there, but it could still be there. I don't know.
Yeah,
but it looks like it's.
I mean, at the last set of scenes, like I just don't see his left arm anywhere. I mean,
yeah,
I can assume that I mean, he took the Bankai, you know, just straight head on, and I can assume maybe he lost his left arm at that moment.
Well,
but
he was acting like it was nothing though, because it's like, I mean, like he's saying it's not nearly as powerful as Sasakibe's actual Bankai.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of, what I can like assume from that is, I guess the Bankai that the Stern Reader steal, like they might be like a weaker version potentially of the actual Bankai of the captains. But of course, yeah, Yamamoto just kind of tanks it, and then he turned around and uses his own Bankai against Overkill. And this scene was kind of funny. Like I did not expect this. He just like, I mean, I guess I should have, but yeah, he just turns around and uses a Bankai against him and just completely like, just one hit. So just in one hit, he just goes down.
Incinerates this
melts his face
guy. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, like, you know, Yamamoto's appearance just straight up boosts like everyone's morale, especially you know, the other captains that lost their Bankai, to just straight up, you know, go out and just fight on as much as you can now that Yamamoto's in the battlefield. I mean,
we should mention too that Kenpachi, like he also ended up taking out.
Oh, the Kenpachi scenes, that is so good.
He single-handedly took out 3 of the Stern Raider. So I should mention, like, so apparently in the manga they don't actually show like the fight between him and each of these 3 Stern Raiders he took out, but in the anime we actually do get to see like what happened. So apparently one of them is able to transform into a giant monkey, which Kenpachi just kind of cut him in half. The other one, like which is kind of funny. Like Kenpachi says, he just talked too much, so he literally ripped out his throat. So there really was no fight there. and then the other guy, like, is able to like completely copy somebody. So he copied Kenpachi, and they fought. But of course, he ended up winning. So it's kind of funny just because Kenpachi shows up and confronts like you watch, and the other guy, I forget his name, the blonde guy, and he has their bodies just kind of on his back. And he throws him down, and he's now he's ready to go up against Yawatch. So we see him basically like try to cut him or try to fight him, but of course Yawatch blocks him. And this is kind of continued in the because there is an after credit scene. We see in the after credit scene that basically like off screen, Yawatch had defeated Kenpachi, and he's just like holding him up. And he's, saying like, "Is that all you have?" Basically, this is where Yamamoto shows up, and is about to confront Yawatch. And that's kind of where we leave things, which is really frustrating because of course, I just want to see more at this point. There was just, like, this is probably like honestly like one of my favorite episodes so far because like of all the stuff that happens in this, and it's just like. Apparently, this did adapt 6 chapters, but it really honestly doesn't feel like it. Like, maybe it's because it's mostly fight scenes, but I just really like I mean, it did feel fast paced though, but it didn't feel rushed. I just really like need to know what's gonna happen next at this point, especially like the whole mystery around like who the hell like was that just killed Kilgay like that. There's just and of course is Ichigo ever gonna find a way out of the jail?
Yeah, honestly, I still find it hard to believe that this is only the 4th episode of the new series, and
the 5th episode.
5th episode. I keep losing count, but yeah, it's still hard for me to believe that this is like that we're literally starting a new season, but it really feels like it's a finale of
Well, I mean, it should because this is the final arc of the series, but
I mean we're not even we're not even past the first core yet, and we still have like this and like 3 more cores left, depending on how long.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really just wondering like what else there is that we can expect. I know, of course, like I guess it's not too much of a spoiler, but I know, of course, we are going to get like kind of a mini arc in this season where it's going to go into the backstory of Isshin Kurosaki and Ichigo's mother. But aside from that, I'm really not sure what else is really going to happen with what's going on in the 1,000-Year Blood War.
Yeah, it's honestly, I mean, overall, this season just keeps exceeding my expectations. Like, so I just can't wait to see like what's going to happen in the with the fight between Yamamoto and Yawak next week. I mean, obviously we know what it's going to be focused on based on the episode title.
Yeah, I do know what the outcome of that's going to be, but I'm not going to say anything. But yeah, I'm really excited to see that happen because I think the that episode might potentially break the internet just from what I know. But yeah, I mean, this has been definitely getting really crazy. One thing I really want is I just really want Ichigo to get out because I want to see him actually like do something because it feels like, of course, these past couple of episodes he's just been stuck. So I really want him to, actually get Ichigo to, show, because I feel like once Ichigo shows up, things are the tides are definitely gonna turn, because as we know, his Bankai can't be stolen. So, and that's one thing that's kind of like their trump card right now is they have the thing they can just steal your Bankai. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I thought this is definitely like one of the best episodes we've gotten so far. I thought it was great. I didn't really have any problems with it, so I don't know if you have anything else to say about it.
It was so good. A lot of great moments, especially the Kenpachi moments, in which he easily kills the 30 Stern Ritter in such an amusing and humorous way. But it's they're really ramping it up like each and every week. They come up with a new episode. Especially I keep seeing how they adapt certain portions of the manga to near accuracy at this point. That it's just it's just so good. I can't believe how good it is.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is the best we could have gotten with the Thousand Year Blood War series. I mean, we have Tite Kubo working very closely with the production, with the people behind it. We have a lot of people who are, I think are really passionate about the series, and I think that's showing in the anime itself. So I think it's really the best we could have asked for, honestly. Like, of course, like, when it first got announced, I was concerned because it was Studio Pro, and as we know, Studio Pro is not what they used to be. But I think what really matters is the staff behind, that's involved with the Thousand Year Blood War anime. I think, they're just really, they really want to make it as good as they can. So yeah, but that being said, guys, until next Monday, we will see you all next time.